Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome to episode number 4 of Loglocked. So after having some pretty insane luck last time, we left off last episode over at the Temperos, where we've currently knocked out 3 out of 12 uniques from the collection log. So I think the plan for the start of today's episode is to camp the Temperos until we've picked up the full Angler set, and hopefully at the same time we'll grab at least one bonus unique as well. And as always, guys, before we do get into this episode, if you have been enjoying the series so far, then a like on the video would be absolutely amazing, as it really helps the videos to get shared around. And if you are new around here, then a sub to the channel would really make my day as well. But anyway, that is definitely enough self-promotion for today, so it's time to get fishing. And as you guys might have already been able to spot on the screen, I thought I'd add a little graphic to make it a bit easier to track how many chunks of the world map that we've currently got unlocked, and also how many uniques that we need to unlock our next chunk as well. As I did have a few comments from you guys saying it was a little bit hard to keep track of, so hopefully this makes it a little bit easier. And there we go, just like that, there is 50 games of the Temperos out of the way already. So I think what I'm going to do is do one more game for good luck, and then it's time to see if we can grab any more uniques from the rewards pool. Alright, so here we go, guys, just shy of 100 permits this time, and as good as any of the uniques would be to get, if there's one that I could choose, and obviously it would be very unlikely to happen, but the Dragon Harpoon would honestly be such a good unique to grab here, as it does count as an entry into the Slayer log, and obviously it is going to be quite a long time before we could pick one up through Slayer. But anyway, let's see if we can grab anything new. Well, that didn't take very long, did it? There's the fish barrel. That is exactly what I like to see. That is huge as well for the account. That's such a nice item to get early. Literally about 3 sort of permits in, there's the fish barrel. There we go. And anything else, or is that going to be it? I think that's going to be it, lads. But you know what? Not too disappointed at all. And just enough Spirit Flakes for another recolor as well. I think it is 1.2k, so very happy with that one. Just enough for another outfit piece. But either way, let's have a look here. What we're going to get in the caskets. I know, like I said in the last one, we got a rune chain body. All right, we got some ruby nexus, some silver bars. To be fair, oh, a rune full helm as well. Not too bad. Some more jades, got those last episode as well. 5k cash, can't complain. And a tooth half. These caskets are actually really good as well. But yeah, rune full helm. Obviously not quite 40 defense yet, but not too far off that either. Like I said, I'm going to go from head to toe essentially. So yeah, we are going to recolor our Spirit Angler top here as well. There we go, just enough flakes for that as well. 66 to spare, and there is the Spirit Angler top. So yeah, 2 more to go, and then we will be leaving the Temperos. But yeah, in the meantime, hopefully we can get some more uniques. But yeah, fish barrel, very happy with that. Such a lovely upgrade for the account as well. So just like that, guys, another few hours of Temperos later, and we've saved up just over 130 reward permits. So let's see if we can fish ourselves out any new log entries. And lobsters fishing bait, one more. It's some nails. To be fair, so alright, I'll take that. Alright, let's have a look here. Let's see what we get in the caskets this time. We got some pretty good rewards last time. Diamond necklace, more opals. Oh, what was that? I suppose that was something that just went in somewhere else. Some jades, some more opals, and another rune chain body. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Now I'm going to be doing the legs next. Only the boots to go after this, but here we go. This is going to be another log entry right here. And I think this is going to be another chunk as well. I think it is the 3rd unique we need for another chunk. But there is the Spirit Angler waders. They do look pretty cool. But yeah, just the boots to go now, and then we can move on from Temperos. So not too bad there. So after having a pretty long think about the chunk that I want to unlock next, I've actually decided I will be going for this chunk here just west of the fishing trawler to unlock the fight arena. And obviously as well, that will unlock the fight arena quest, which will give me a very nice amount of attack and thieving XP when I do it a little later in the episode. But either way, it's just the boots to go, and then we are all finished up with Temperos for now. Hey, and there we go. Just like that, there was 100 total KC over at the Temperos, and I have managed to save up just shy of 100 more permits, which should hopefully be enough for the Spirit Flakes that we need for the last recolor. So we need to fish ourselves out just under 1,000 flakes for the boot transmog, which should be pretty easy with close to 100 permits. And I did forget to mention this earlier, but through this grind, we've also made our way up to level 65 fishing, which is so nice to get early on the account. But either way, let's see if we can pick anything else up besides those flakes. Hey, and there we go, guys. That is exactly what I like to see. There is the tackle box. And even though we don't have all that much equipment to store in it right now, I'm sure a little later down the line on the account, that is going to be super useful for saving bank space. But either way, that is another unique ticked off of the Temperos log there. So with 81 to spare, we just about grabbed enough Spirit Flakes for that last recolor. And also, before I forget, let's crack open these caskets as well. First up, oh my god, a Hard Clue and a Rune Full Helm there. Not too bad at all. Next up, a Rune Med Helm, some Ruby Bracelets, some Sapphire Rings, some Diamond Rings, and lastly, another Rune Chain Body as well. Not a bad haul at all there. I'm not gonna lie, it might be a little while before we can do this first step, but I'm pretty sure that we're not gonna be rolling any more Hard Clues anytime soon, so I might as well hold on to it. And there we go, guys. That is now the full Spirit Angler set acquired on the account, and also another entry into the log as well. And like I said before, I will be back over to the Tempros a little later on in the account, or if I do happen to get stuck and need some more log slots. But for now, I think it is time to move on. But before I crack on with my next plan of ticking off some more log entries, I think that it's about time to go and knock out level 10 agility by jumping over that rock in the Lumbridge Swamp Caves that we unlocked in the last episode. And that way as well, I can then jump onto the Draenor Village course at level 10 and grab a Mark of Grace, which does count as another entry into the log. And luckily, we do already have ourselves a light source for the caves from the Catabla Ponds that we killed in the second episode. And I haven't really spent all that much time down in the Lumbridge Caves recently, so I thought I'd bring myself a couple lobsters just to be on the safe side. Okay, so we just about made it over to the agility shortcut, but on the way over here, my torch did actually cause 2 different explosions, which hit me for like a 15 each time, which is pretty scary. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't do that anymore. So annoyingly, and I did think this was going to be the case, but every single time that I fail and fall into the river, I do have to relight my torch, otherwise I do start to get chomped by some insects for a fair bit of damage. But either way, like I said in the last episode, I do get myself 3 XP if I manage to cross the shortcut, and 1 XP if I fail. So yeah, this is going to take me quite a long time to hit level 10 agility. And of course we found the last jump, but there we go, there's level 10 agility coming in. And to be honest, that really didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would, and I think we're here for just over an hour, so yeah, not too bad at all. But either way, that level 10 means we have just unlocked our first rooftop agility course over in Draenor. So like I mentioned earlier, with the rooftop courses unlocked, this also means that we've unlocked Marks of Grace, which obviously don't have too much use for us right now because we can't go over to Grace in Berthorpe, but the Mark of Grace itself does count as a log entry when picked up. Okay, never mind, I take that back, because apparently you get the log entry just from completing a lap of a rooftop course, because I definitely didn't pick up a Mark of Grace there. So with that Mark of Grace apparently being ticked off, that is now 2 more chunks of the world map unlocked for us. 1 for ticking off our 3rd of 3 uniques, and also 1 bonus chunk for the new entry into the rooftop agility page. And speaking of Grace over in Berthorpe, I think with these 2 chunks, I'm going to start to unlock the path to lead us over there. So first up, I will be unlocking this Tavily chunk here, and then next up this one just to the north. So with these new chunks, we also do have access now to some pretty important early game quests, which I probably will start working on a little later on in the episode. And speaking of quests, my next plan for ticking off some more log entries is actually going to be the new Ishkam Doozle update. But before I do gain access to the dungeon, I first need to knock out the Below Ice Mountain quest. But luckily, from all the progress in the last episode, I do have the quest point requirements now, and I'm pretty sure I do also have every single chunk that I need to complete the quest itself. Alrighty, so once again, and this seems to be a bit of a common theme with the series so far, but I have encountered another little problem. And you know how I said I thought I had every single chunk that I need for this quest? Well, I'm right at the end, and for whatever reason, I forgot I actually need this chunk here, so I can walk around and access the dungeon up here. And even though I could be very cheeky and change my chunk choices from before, what I'm going to do instead is make it a little bit more of a challenge and go and knock out 3 more log entries so I can unlock this final chunk that I need for the quest. So even though in this situation I have been a massive freaking donut, this is exactly what the series is going to be all about a little later on. So yeah, in terms of trying to utilize all the log slots that I could possibly tick off with the chunks that we do have unlocked at the time. So I think what I'm going to do for the 3 entries that we need for this chunk is take a visit back over to Last Man Standing and knock out 75 more points so I can buy 3 more of the paints. Luckily for me this time, the LMS world is actually going to be on NA ping instead of Australian like last time we were here, so hopefully it won't be quite as bad. But either way, wish me luck guys, because I'm going to be super freaking rusty. So 2 more wins in total there, so I guess not too bad. And we are now slowly making our way up to the 10 wins cape, which also is another entry into the log. And after a couple hours more of grinding, we do have ourselves the 75 points that we need for those 3 paints. And like I said in the last episode, these rewards don't really have all that much use right now, so it doesn't really matter which ones we buy. But with that said, we are going to be going for the yellow, the white, and the blue dark bow paint, and that means we can now unlock that chunk to finish off the quest. So I really need to start paying a lot more attention to how I can actually enter chunks, as I keep forgetting that even if I do unlock the content inside of a chunk, it doesn't mean that I can walk straight in through the same chunk, if you get me. But either way, with this new chunk unlocked, that means we can go and complete the quest now. So I accidentally forgot my weapon for the final boss fight, but there we go. There's the Blow Ice Mountain quest out of the way, which now means we have access to the ruins of Camdoozle, so we can finally start working on those log slots. So I've never actually been down in these ruins on any of my accounts before, but from what I understand, I do need to mine myself some Baronite, and that way I can get a Baronite deposit, which then has the chance to give me one of those collection log entries when crushed on an anvil. But before we get on with that mining, and whilst I am in the area, I thought I'd go ahead and treat myself to a nice little pickaxe upgrade to make the grind a little easier. Hey, and just like that, there's over 30 mining coming in. We're up to 7 of these Baronite deposits already, and I'm not entirely sure on the drop rate of the uniques from these things, but I think what I'm going to do is mine a full in for them and then go crush them and see what we get. And compared to the previous LMS grind, it's safe to say this is a lot more reclined, which I am pretty happy about. But I think what I'm going to do is try and knock out about half the uniques on the Camdoozle collection log page and then wrap the episode up there. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I used the deposits on this anvil here, so let's see if we can get anything from the first imp. Unfortunately, no uniques in that imp, and on the wiki it does list them as being rare, so I'm assuming that is around a 1 in 50 to a 1 in 100 or so. But to be fair, this grind will give us some nice early smithing XP, which I can't really complain about. So around 20 minutes of AFKing later, and let's see if our luck can be any better on imp number 2. Well, I guess that answers that question. There we go, only 3 deposits in, and there's our first unique, the Baronite head. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you can combine it with a few other parts to make the Baronite mace. So nothing else from the rest of those deposits, but that Baronite head was the first out of 10 entries into the Camdoozle log, meaning we have just unlocked a bonus chunk. But I think what I'm going to do is knock out a few more uniques first, and then choose our chunks a little later on. Hey, so 1 imp later, and there is unique number 2 now, the Ancient Ledger. And I believe with this thing, along with a few of the other uniques as well, you can trade them over to the Varrock Museum for some kudos, and also a little bit of GP, which is pretty cool. Oh my god, finally. I'm pretty sure that was the 5th imp in a row without unique, but there is potentially the best one. There is the Incamdo Hammer. So for you guys that don't know, this item acts as a hammer which you can actually wield. But before I can wield it, and also before it does count as a log entry, it does need to be fixed with Baronite shards, which I will do after this imp is finished. So I think I just need to use the hammer on this little dwarf here, and he should get it all fixed up for me. And I think we do have more than enough Baronite shards, but there it is. There is the repaired Baronite hammer for yet another log entry. And so obviously, this hammer is going to be super useful whenever we need to do some smithing using an anvil, and I also think it makes some pretty good fashionscape as well. But more importantly, that was the 3rd and final unique that we need for another chunk. And I know that I said I wanted to get about half the Camdoozle log done before the end of today's episode, but I think we have been pretty unlucky with uniques so far, and I do want to make sure that I can get this episode out later today. So yeah, I'm going to choose my final 2 chunks and then wrap it up there. So for my first choice, I will be going for this chunk here to finally unlock Berthorpe, and then next up, and I'm not going to be talking about it now, but I will be going for this chunk here to start taking us towards Mauritania. But with all that said, guys, that's going to be all from me for today's episode of Log Locked. And as always, I really do hope you guys have enjoyed this one. So if you have, and you haven't yet, then a big old like on the video would be absolutely amazing. But before we do go for today, I do have one end of video shout out to my main man, Wiener Lad, who's shown me a crazy amount of support on my streams over the past few months. And I can always count on him to launch a stinky fart in my ear when I'm least expecting it. But until next time, guys, as always, stay safe and I'll see you very soon.